Hey guys, welcome to Donna's Sewing Circle. Come on in. I'm Donna, and today is lesson 13 in a 15-part series about quilting. So for you to have found me, you have to be a beginner quilting because that's what I teach. And today's quilting instructions is about backings for your quilt and what you can use. Now, if you're thinking of wanting to make a quilt and you already know all the basics, join me in the next series and we will be learning how to make Jacob's ladder. So if that interests you, go forward to the next series. But the 15-part series that I'm instructing on right now is just the basics to prepare beginners for their journey in quilting. Okay, so now we got that over with, let's get into the backings of our quilts. There are multiple avenues. I'm not sure Hobby Lobby has quilt backings, but quilt backing fabric is wider than regular fabric. You can get them at quilting stores. You can get them on Amazon or online quilting stores. But whatever you get, these quilt backings, I think I forget how wide they are, but usually you have to join two pieces together so you'll have a seam down the back of your quilt. Personally, I don't like that. I've never used a quilt backing in my entire 20 years. I learned really quick that I did not like that seam in the back of my quilt. So my secret is going to thrift stores. You can also do it if you can afford it. You can buy brand new quilt sheets. I use sheets. I go to the Goodwill store and I look for 100% cotton sheets. They are beautiful. I love the vintage ones. A lot of the newer ones are those slick polyester ones. Do not, I repeat, do not get a polyester sheet for your back. No matter how soft it is, no matter how pretty it is, it will not work, especially for a beginner. I'm not a beginner and I won't use them because they're just really difficult to work with. But this is the queen sheet. So if I was making a full blanket, I could use this. If I was making a king size blanket, I cannot use this because it will be too small. The sheet that you decide to use has to be approximately 2 inches wider than the actual quilt that you're making. So usually I just go up a size. If I'm making a full size quilt, I'll get a queen size, sometimes even a king, because my measurements might be off. I might add an extra row. But that's my secret. I have probably 100 sheets, so I can pick and choose which one I want to use for my quilting because I don't like to be limited to one sheet. So I've been collecting for 20 years though. It's not something I overnight got 100 sheets. I've been Goodwill shopping, thrift store shopping for 20 years. Always on the lookout for good quality sheets. You can buy white sheets, like a dime a dozen at these Goodwill stores. Just make sure they don't have stains on them. Sometimes they do have stains on them. But the white sheets are really good for backing, and they also good for adding binding to your quilt or even making quilt blocks if you need white in your quilt blocks. So, so you can either go to the store, the quilting stores, and actually buy the fabric for the backing, or you can go the avenue I go, which is to buy sheets. There's nothing wrong with it. You can buy brand new sheets, or you can get quality used sheets. Now, a lot of the old timers did this. And then a new generation of quilters came out and they're like, oh no, you can't use sheets. You can't use sheets. They don't sew right. I've never had a problem with them as long as they're cotton. Like I said, do not get the polyester ones. Do not get the stretchy ones. Now I'll use the flannel. I use flannel a lot. So you can get the flannel sheets. I don't know if I've used them ever for backing. I've usually used them for something else, but flannel sheets are great for sewing also. And like I said, I've always used sheets all my career, and that's why I teach my students. Now, when we make the quilts that I make, I usually use the fleece for the backing because we do not add batting to it. So we double duty the fleece, which I will show you when we get to that point. All right, so this was a short lesson, but next lesson, lesson 14, is a lot of the common mistakes that beginner quilters make, and I want to help you not make those mistakes so your first quilt is absolutely stunning. All right, see you next time. God bless.